This week on Launch for Accountants, we're highlighting 6 new launches from around the world to make you more productive. We got a tool that's like Notepad, had a baby with your 10 key, a tool that lets you query your accounting APIs from a spreadsheet, and a new knowledge-based tool from Microsoft, all that and a host of other goodies on this week's Launch for Accountants. There are loads of scenarios where we don't have native integrations between the accounting system and the tool or the format that we need that data in. Do I have news for you? Airboxr is a solution to pull data from your accounting APIs directly into Google Sheets. It's a new tool to let you pull that data in without having to be a programming whiz. And because it's a platform for pulling data from any API, you can not only pull data from your accounting API, you can reach out to any other API with data relevant to the analysis that you're trying to run. Everybody's got their own way of doing this. A lot of clients were doing kind of ongoing cash reporting for all this bespoke stuff. Airboxr gives you a way to pull data from all those different APIs into a single Google Sheet. Pricing starts at a measly $5 per user per month, but you can get started for free. Check this one out at airboxr.com. Row Business Banking. This one's coming off a fresh round of funding. What makes this one unique? The platform's doing a lot more than banking. With this one, you've got banking, you've got card management, you've got bill pay, and you've got budgeting. I'll show you one thing I really like here. It's an interesting way of managing your accounting integration. Very few banks that are doing this right now, but Row lets you do an API to API integration with your accounting file. You can see here you match specific attributes to the QuickBooks attribute. So when you're managing your bill pay and your card activity inside of the platform, all that data is going to make its way back to the accounting system. These features make the bookkeeping process so much simpler when you move the categorization up to the time of the transaction, rather than downstream taking a bank feed and then trying to figure out all that stuff after the fact. Check this one out at row.co. Check. This one is Payroll as a Service. What does that mean? It means is they're going to roll a payroll service that you can embed into your own platform. Payroll reporting in 50 states, a fully featured payroll system that you can fold into your own system. Now, is this over the head of a bunch of bean counters like you and I? Maybe, but it's part of a big trend we're seeing in banking as a service and lending as a service. Functions are becoming more turnkey and easier to grab off the shelf and pull into a platform of your own. Now, is this going to be a replacement for the payroll platforms I love and use every day? I'm not so sure. But interesting to keep an eye on where the industry's headed. More of this stuff is being developed as a service that can be pulled into different platforms. Interesting to read about this one and how it works. Check that one out at checkhq.com. Got a new knowledge-based tool from Microsoft called Viva. If you're spending your day-to-day in the 365 ecosystem, using Teams, that sort of thing, this type of thing might make sense. Knowledge bases are becoming a near essential part of our profession, and this new tool from Microsoft is going to play well with the rest of your suite. Viva is organized into topics, connections, learning, and insights. It's a tool that can serve as kind of your internal wiki, but is also trying to do a little more than that, pulling data automatically from conversations, from comments that can be resurfaced for future users down the road. If you aren't yet using a knowledge-based tool, I highly recommend you pulling something like this into your firm. There's a tremendous amount of captive expertise in the work that people have done in the past. And until you start saving that, you're never going to be able to leverage it into the future. Viva also gives you kind of some learning journey aspects that could give your junior people a path to expertise. If you're already living in the Office 365 environment, this is probably going to be an easy one for you to fold into what you already do. Starts at just $5 per user per month. Check that one out at Microsoft.com. Oh mama, I love this one. It's called Numbr. So, freeform notepad, but it does math for you. I don't know about you, I have spent so much time explaining things like, how do I get to my net check? Explain to me the SE tax savings of switching to an S Corp. You have this conversation and you're throwing numbers out there verbally and you're hoping they're sticking and that feed is continuing for them, but your client's usually confused. Imagine recording a video explainer of this and having a log like this in Notepad where you step through each of those things. How that calculation works, with a running total out on the right-hand side. I think there's 100 uses for this. I love that it also gives you the flexibility to build whatever narrative you need around that data set as well. So if you're answering a question, you can make it specific to them. It's Tina's hours or the gym's landscaping bill. This one's got me pretty excited. I think it's got loads of use cases when you're doing that verbal arithmetic. Check this one out at numbr.dev. Process Street just pushed out a big update. This is one of the favorites for the accountants I talk with. Check this one out if you haven't before. What's new in 3.0? Sounds like they've revamped the user interface. You've got new SSO options, and you got an iOS app as well. Couple more power user specific options. You can now build conditional logic into your workflows. It's one thing if you've got a basic linear workflow, but the reality is usually you've got some sort of branching logic. Now inside of Process Street, you can create branching processes. That's pretty cool. So you take a complex process, you build it into a single pipeline that has the flexibility to accommodate different client situations. Big fan of Process Street. They've got the details of that in a blog post. Check it out at process.st. Do you like accounting tech? Me too. I am such a dork. We do this every week. We go through our 6 favorite launches from around the world. Check out last week's video. We were talking about PPP banking document generation. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and head over to launchfa.com. We run a weekly newsletter that highlights all this stuff. This week we're hitting on the most popular launches from the month of January. Don't miss it. I'll see you there.